Hello and welcome to Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. I'm your host, Janette Burke, and today we are shopping for love with the Bachelor Canada and his newly revealed fiancée. If you're looking for love, we've got the solution. We're here talking with Canada's The Bachelor, Tim Warmels. Congratulations on finding love and on your engagement. And a couple of questions for you. What made you, Tim, want to be Canada's Bachelor #2, second season?
I can't say there was anything in particular that, made me want to go out and do this, but somebody presented me with the opportunity, and I kind of said to myself, well, I'm 28, I'm single, and I can either keep doing what I've been doing for the last 6 years of my life, or I can take 2 months and try this. So it was kind of a win-win situation. And
you, April, what made you want to apply for this?
I had a few coworkers that actually sort of pushed me into it, and finally I said, why not? And I was open to it, and here we are.
So finding love on a television show where there's a camera in your face 24/7, where you're competing with other women for one man's attention, and when you are constantly being pushed to show emotion, be that dramatic emotion or humorous emotion or even time on the camera. How in that environment was it for you to really get to know each other and nurture a real loving relationship?
It's, in a certain sense, it's difficult because the cameras are there. But then at the same time, they melt away very, very quickly. And the other part of it is that, like you were saying before, and this makes it partly stressful as well, though, is that you're so focused on only that, which is at hand, which is, the dates and trying to figure out if this person is someone for you. And so, yeah, it's only 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but you're so focused. So that helps a lot with it.
And so everything we hear you say on camera, is it coming from your mouth and from your mind, or is it partially scripted?
There's part of this for me that honestly, it's hard sometimes when people ask that question, because these were literally the 2 of the most stressful months of my life, like the 2 most stressful months of my life. And it was stressful because it was very, very real and very, very serious. Like I was trying to find the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and nothing is scripted at all.
Okay. So going back to, you say there's a wedding in the works. We heard that last night. And I'd like to know when the wedding is and where it's going to be.
Well, we don't exactly have an official date because we just haven't been able to plan any details, having the secret relationship for almost 6 months. So all of that begins now, and we get to start thinking about it and planning it now.
All right, speaking of the secret relationship, how hard was it for you to keep that secret relationship going in lieu of the fact that you were not allowed to say that you were together until last night's final rose ceremony and final episode? And were you able to do anything without violating the terms and conditions of your contractual agreement to the show to keep in touch and keep your love growing?
Yeah, we were, the way it works is that, if you mess it up and people find out, you get nailed for it. But there's nothing that says, you can't see each other. You can't do this. You can't do that. There's nothing that says that. It just says, you 2 are adults. You make your own decisions, but just don't let anyone find out. So we've been seeing each other a fair amount. We just can't tell anyone about it. So.
And secret text, hoping that no one's going to hack into your phone.
Yeah, secret text, secret dates, secret cottage dates. I mean, everything, really.
Okay, the holidays are coming up. And for many people who are single, this is a very lonely time of year. Do you have any advice on how to find love in your life when you're as busy as you said yourself? You were very busy people. You were a real estate agent. You had a great career as an investment banker and with your own business, with your own tech companies and what have you. Where did you find the time for love, and what's your advice to others to find that time?
My advice would just, just be open and take chances. That's what we did, and look, we've ended up in a good position. So be open to taking risks, and sometimes the greatest risks and you end up with the
one of these fiancé things.
Okay, greatest payoff.
Exactly.
I think it all comes down to A, making time, and B, not getting discouraged. Because I think especially for people who've been single for a long time, it comes down to being discouraged, to feeling like, I'm just never going to find anyone, so I'm going to stop trying. And that, I think, is, you just can't have that attitude, because if you stop trying, you will definitely not find it.
But now one might argue, and we're going to wrap up with a few key last questions. One might argue that the two of you are successful, good-looking, and established, and that going on a show like The Bachelor wouldn't have really been necessary for you, because you would have thought that you could find a partner or love in other ways. And also, people are watching the show thinking, I'm a regular Joe Blow or girl or whoever, and they're not, being sent to Tahiti and Bahamas and Italy and on all these wonderful paid excursions and having dates like this. It's just normal everyday life for them. So how would you say that they could benefit from any of the principles or any of the things that you focused on in your values that you portrayed in getting to know each other and what you were looking for in each other on the show? What's your advice on that?
My personal take on that is that, this idea of romantic love is very, very strong in our culture these days, but it actually hasn't been around for a very long time. And I think we've swung a little bit too far to this idea of romantic love, that love is just going to happen. It's just going to fall into my lap. It's just going to be this relationship that blossoms, and it's lustful and it's beautiful. And though I think some of those things are necessary, like a great attraction, a friendship, an ease of being with each other, those things are necessary. I think love, finding someone to marry, comes down to a commitment and a decision that takes all of those ease, all of that passion, and really furthers it. So it's a decision more than I think most people view it today.
And that's the decision should be made whether you're having a date in Northern Ontario or Southern Ontario or any part of Canada or Tahiti or anywhere, right? It's not where you're at, it's who you're with.
Exactly.
Okay. So I have one last question, because I know we're running out of time, and I really have to ask this for my women viewers because I know they want to know. April, this is directed to you. Can you share anything with me that went on behind the scenes that we do not see on the camera, that happened in the house between you and the other girls? Was there any jealousy? Was there any strategy you employed to make sure that you wound up one of the last two to receive the rose?
Honestly, no. It wasn't a competition to me in the least bit. And half of the time I was telling the girls, don't be so upset, and, pursue it, see what happens. Because if he had developed a connection that was greater with another girl, great. I would have been happy. I would want that. I would have wanted that. I would have wanted, whatever was meant to be would have been. And it really wasn't a competition at all. It was just...
I'm chuckling at that, because the very first thing that we connected on was the fact that this wasn't a competition. This was about people trying to find someone, not a competition. And no one else really saw it like that. And when we, one of the first conversations we had was about that fact.
Where are you going next? Where do you see yourself now that the show is finished? The cameras are down. Are you looking for a career in film, stage, TV, either of you, or are you going to be happy to go home and settle down, get married, and start making babies?
Well, we're excited to just enjoy the engagement for a while and really just we're looking so forward to spending the holidays with friends and family and just...
It's so great to see two people so in love, like Tim and April. We hope that you will take some of their teachings and apply it to your own love life, especially if you're still looking to find love in all the right places. This is Janette Burke, your host, signing off for Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. And until next time, continue to be fabulous.